famous, I'm a walker. And 3-6 mafia, so please don't cross her. Who is she? Well, that she be.
Yo, welcome back to Two Sides of the South. I go by D WILK. Today we got a special guest in the building.
Hey y'all, what's up? I'm Hasi, a new artist. I am from Rock Hill, South Carolina, currently in Atlanta, Georgia, and yeah, I'm here with D WILK today.
You know that. All right, so what we about to do is, we're going to answer some questions. We got my dog Marco in the back. Marco, say something real quick.
Here.
So what we're about to do is we're going to pick some questions from here, and then we're going to go and we're going to talk about it. So I'll let Hasi start.
All right, I got 13.
All right. Has streaming took away from connection with today's music?
I would say yes, it has taken away a certain extent. I feel like back then you had to wait for the album, the excitement of going to the store, begging your mom to take you to the store to get an album, like having that physical album in your hand. I remember getting the album, I would like even flip through the booklet, look at the extra pictures and stuff like that. Now I feel like with streaming, you can't really connect to the album outside of just listening to the music. So I would say a little bit, but not quite in a negative way, but it has taken away and changed the perspective.
You said the question one more time?
Has streaming taken away from connection with today's music?
I do believe so. Like Hasi was saying, like back then you actually had to go to the store and, invest your money and say, all right, I'm going to invest in my favorite artist. And, it's not like you can go nowadays and go on your phone and just go on the app and just listen to every song. You had to actually save $15, $20 and say, okay, I'm going to invest in my artist regardless if this album is trash or it's good. I'm going to say, okay, I love this artist. I'm going to invest in them, go to the store, you listen to their music. And that, to me, that brings a connectivity because you like actually putting some work in it versus actually just turn on your phone and just going to the app and trying to like listen to something that you probably ain't going to listen to in the next 3 to 4 months. So, yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. I got number 4.
Do awards like the Grammys still matter in music culture?
I don't. It really depends on if you want that type of validation. Because I'm not gonna lie, stuff like the Grammys, I stopped really rocking with it because back when it was, what year was it? I think it was like 2012, 2013. It was like Kendrick, Jay-Z, Kanye, Drake, all was nominated for Hip Hop Album of the Year, and Macklemore won. So I'm like, if you gonna give Macklemore Hip Hop Album of the Year over those 4 amazing artists, I'm like, how much validation is in those awards? Because the people who's judging those awards, do they really actually listen to the music? Are they from the culture? Do they appreciate the culture? Or are they just going by the numbers they see and, different metrics that not really, we use in the culture and the community? So, nah.
That's true. I kind of feel split because one day I would love to be at the Grammys myself. But I do think it's just kind of like what you work towards. It is more, I would say, commercialized side of music. It's the more proper way to kind of present music. It's just kind of like, when you go to college, some people get a special tassel for having 4.0 GPA or 3.5 GPA, but that doesn't take away from everyone who's still graduating to get their degree. I think that as time moves on and music evolves and it's changing and they're kind of like even hip hop not really being recognized as it used to be, I can see, it may not be quite what it used to be, but at the same time, it built that foundation off of recognizing people who just normally wouldn't get that recognition, so.
Good answers.
Yeah, anything you want to add?
I think it matters. I agree with both of y'all. I think it matters to like the person maybe chasing it. If it's a personal goal, we all grew up watching the Grammys to an extent. If we've been into music, we all visualize ourselves being on the stage. So in an aspect, maybe it's like a self-validation type of thing. But in the grand scheme of, judging your body of work and what you put into it and, the studio hours and the quality of your music, I don't think you can chop it all up to say, did you win a Grammy or not? And that'd be a valid answer to whether you had a good music career or not. That's my input.
Maybe.
I got number 7.
Oh, wow. If you could only listen to 5 albums the rest of your life, what would they be?
Ooh.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm about to go to the phone with that one
Go
too.
ahead now, take your time.
Damn, 5 albums.
The Way It Is by Keisha Cole. I would run that album down. I went to go see her in concert celebrating her 20th year of that album. And it was just, I don't know, she just really, that's the true girls album. Like, and I feel like growing up listening to her, Monica, Brandy in the car, Mary J. Blige even, with my mom, like as an adult now, I could see why she was playing that. It was just good, organic, clean, like just genuine soulful music with like a new twist, especially like when she got that song with Kanye West. It's actually the first song on her album, but that's just one of mine. I mean, if I go down to 5, I would say Off the Wall by Michael Jackson. It's just a classic. Pick Me Up. Sade, Love Deluxe. That's just one of my vibes. And then Rick James. Street songs. Rick James just piped me up. My aunt used to listen to him. And on the way to school, she would always play that album. It would just get me so pumped up. Like, I love Rick James. And then the honorable mention, Drake, Take Care. I just feel like that's just a classic.
Okay.
Out of those, if you can only listen to one the rest of your life, which one would it be?
I'm going to go with the Michael Jackson one.
Okay.
That's timeless, for sure.
For me, I start off, I go All Eyes on Me by Pac. I would then probably go Aquemini by Outkast.
Okay,
Trying to think. I gotta go Thriller. I gotta add Thriller on there. That's probably my favorite album of all time. Let's see. It's more recent, but I ain't gonna lie. This album was probably like the theme song of my high school and early college. I'd probably go. And I know DS2 by Future. Because I can listen to that album. I can listen to that album in the gym. I can listen to that album just driving to work. I can listen to it on the interstate. I listen to that album anytime. And my last, I would probably go with Good Kid, Mad City. Because when I first heard that album, like I've never been to Compton, California in my life, but the way that he was like describing what he grew up in and what like he was experiencing, I could like see that through the words he was expressing. So I would probably say that was my 5th album.
And out of those 5, what would you choose to listen to the rest of your life?
I would probably go with. Probably Aquemini by Outkast. I'll probably go with that one. Yeah. All right, we got number 10.
Do you feel it is okay for an artist to have a ghostwriter?
For me, it really depends on the genre. Like R&B, I feel like that's totally fine. Cause some people they know how to sing it, but maybe don't know how to write it. When it comes to like hip hop and rap, I'm iffy on that. Cause it really depends on like what type of hip hop rap artist you are. Cause if you talking about street stuff, but you not really doing street stuff, but you rapping like that, and you got somebody else writing that for you, I'm iffy about that. But if you just rapping about, I don't know, just everyday stuff, yeah, you can have a ghostwriter like that, but it really depends on your content and like what you're trying to like accomplish as an artist, in my opinion. But I would preferably say, yeah, stuff like R&B and genres like that, that's totally fine. With hip hop, it's kind of like iffy with me.
It's a spicy subject.
I feel like I would agree with you, you will. But I'm actually discovering like a lot of rap artists are actually using writers or help or anything like that. Now Apple Music got the lyrics. You scroll down to the bottom, you see all those names. You're like, what? It kind of opened up my eye. I'm a rap R&B artist. I have not had anyone help me personally, but one of my current artists that I'm listening to, Mona Leo, love her stuff. She actually credited a writer that helped her, and I thought, oh my gosh, like that's so unique, that's so dope, how they could come together and maybe just help her expand on her thought. Maybe not necessarily like pen and paper here, recite this, and then also Cardi B. They discuss often around her that she has people, but the way she pronunciates and execute the music, nobody else could do it like her. So if she is having help, I don't think it discredit her like anymore as an artist, because clearly she had to get there to get to that level. So I'm kind of like in the middle with that one, but more towards, hey, art is art, and I'm painting the brush, and if you want to add to it and it make it look even better, like I'm cool with that.
And I agree with that. But like, so for me, it really depends on how much like an outside person contribute to it. Like if you write like 95% of the song, I'm like, But if you like, you writing the hook, you writing part of a verse, okay, I can see that,
Yeah, I can see. Yeah. Okay, I got 16.
Do you feel like stage presence is lacking in today's music?
I do. I feel like the only person who really got it is Beyonce. And I think she's so glorified and notarized because there's really no competition out there as far as like a show and production. Not actually, I take back what I said. Chris Brown as well. Chris Brown is putting on a show. I think that just not even talking big artists, just basic artists like myself, I can include myself. I'm walking around just holding the mic. No choreography, no background dancers, nothing, because I'm really just trying to get the music out. I would love to get there to that point, but I do just feel like overall in this generation, stage presence is definitely lacking for sure.
I would agree. And I think it's more from an artist development standpoint, because I feel like back in the day, like artists had to have stage presence because you had to go out there, and usually back in the day there was no backing track. You usually had a band, or you had like a it's called what is it called? I'm drawing a blank, but it's where like in your song only the hook is only the hook is playing in the song, but you got to actually like recite the verse. And I feel like a lot of times nowadays we see a lot of artists go on stage and they're rapping over their own lyrics. And I wish more artists would get on stage and actually, you can have the hook in the instrumental, but I want to actually hear you give your own flavor of your own lyrics. And I feel like that's missing nowadays because of artist development. And I feel like a lot of artists just put out music but not really think about, okay, how big can I get? Like, how far can this song go? Because you don't know, like, maybe one day I'll be on the Grammys, maybe one day I'll be on BT, maybe one day I'll be on the Video Music Awards, and they're going to see you, show your personality, show who you are on the stage. And if you never done that before, then it's like a deer in the headlights. She's like, okay, this is like unfamiliar territory. So yeah, I do feel like that's missing nowadays. All right, we got number 11.
Can an artist be considered legendary without a classic album?
Damn, that's tough.
And I also got another thing to add. And what classifies an album as a classic album?
Can an artist be legendary without a classic album? I'm trying to think. I mean, there's some classic one-hit wonders out here. But when I think of a class, like, I do feel like you have to have a classic album. to be a legendary artist, in my opinion, because you need something that says, okay, at this point in time, I had the whole world attention. I had the charts, I had the numbers. I was selling out shows, I was selling out arenas, I was doing this type of interview, I was going on this type of, whatever. So I feel like you had to have that classic album in order to solidify yourself as a legendary artist. Even if it's only just one, I feel like you just have to have that one. And then what was the other part of that question?
And what makes an album a classic, considered a classic?
For me, a classic album is no skips.
Facts.
Like, I can turn on your album, I can do a shuffle, or I can just listen straight to it in a row. Like, for example, like I go back to like one of my favorite albums, Thriller. Thriller is only 9 songs. But you can listen to Thriller from the number 1 to number 9. Every last one of them could have went number 1 because there was no skips on it. So I feel like a classic album has to have no skips, or if it is a skip, it's only 1 or maybe 2, depending on how long the album is.
Okay. True.
I would agree. I think you do need a classic album to be considered a legendary artist. Yeah, I would agree. Okay, I got number 9.
Do high streaming numbers reflect genuine cultural impact or just effective marketing and playlist placement? So,
I would say a mix of both. Gosh, that's hard. I mean, because you cannot be considered legendary or, well known or without the numbers. You need the streams, you need the numbers. Like that contributes to it. Now, what that is it just something, fun and popping off, or is it something that, holds more sentimental feelings and value? But that's something that you can't really say because music is different to each person. Like I literally, when we said, do you need the classic album? I thought about Bobby Smurda when he came out with that song.
Yeah.
Changed the whole world with that song.
Yeah.
People still know him because of that one song. I have not listened to his album straight through. I don't even know if he got an album. He probably do. But Bobby Smurda really like shook stuff up with that one song. He's still well known. People was ready for him to come home. But a lot of people would say that song it didn't hold any value, but at the same time, it was like a big part of our us growing up. So I don't know. I'm kind of like split. I really don't have a yes or no answer for that one.
And what was the question one more time?
Do high streaming numbers reflect genuine cultural impact or just effective marketing and playlist placement?
I would probably say going to fit market and playlist placement because I think culture impact comes from, you can have high streaming numbers, but does that reflect like your shows? Is your show sold out? Or are you doing the numbers like when you going to these events? Or is the number, like, is your people attending your events matching what's showing on your streaming numbers? Because, nowadays people can use like bots to help build up their numbers. So it kind of be inflated. Cause and that's why we go back to the first question about going back like in the day, like you had to go to the store to actually go buy an album. So you can actually see like the physical sales of people actually going to buy your work instead of streaming when somebody can just go to an app and just put it on. And they might not even like it. They might just be listening to it just to react to, or listen to it just to like see how it sounds. But it's necessarily not resonating with them depending on like what you're talking about or, the type of music you do. So I would say it's more about market placement and, marketing than anything else.
I didn't think about reaction videos because that is a thing now. Back then that was not a thing. Now people reacting to your videos and people are watching the video just off of your reaction, so that's true.
I agree too. Streaming numbers in general, I feel like people are too hooked on because a lot of things you can't count. When songs come out, like for instance, when Nelly came out with Air Force One, everybody started rocking it. You can't count that nothing, but that's the culture impact. Yeah. Everybody's rocking Air Force Ones. But it's probably not the most streamed song of all time, but we know the impact that one song had on us. So I agree as well. Streaming numbers definitely aren't nothing.
It's on me?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, let's see. We got number 2.
Okay. Are producers now more influential than rappers in defining the sound of hip hop? A lot of producers now that got their own name, made their own name.
Are they more influential?
A lot of people say, without some producers, a lot of these artists wouldn't be who they are. And I could back it to a certain degree. I done seen some producers do some magic in a.
Hold on, ask the question one more time. I'm trying to think about that.
Are producers now more influential than rappers in defining the sound of hip hop?
Honestly, I'm gonna say I never felt like they never weren't as influential. I think, like Stevie J, I had no idea that he produced as many records as he did. That is an influential producer. Like now, I think people kind of clown him a little bit, with his reputation and stuff off the TV show. But Stevie J was really, well, he still is, but very influential. I think that the thing being that the tags, now you have producers are having their identity now, and I would also say Pharrell, like he was influential. The artist needed Pharrell. Pharrell did not need those artists. And you would know Pharrell beat as soon as it come on. That sound different. Same with Kanye too. Like, he didn't really take, like, I don't know. Let me not speak too much on what I don't know. But I know my boyfriend really put me on game. He's a producer himself. His beats are amazing. And I think that a lot of times, I'm not even going to say that because that's giving him too much credit. But I don't have to do nearly as much work when it comes to the thought of the music because his beats speak for themselves. And when it just makes it so easy just to glide on a beat. Like if I did not have a teed up beat, I would be struggling a little more. Sometimes when you listen to a beat, it just kind of help the artist. Artists don't have to sit there, So I think producers actually need more recognition, and I love what they're doing. I love that they're creating a bigger space for themselves. So I've named Cash Cobain, like that sound, original, fire. Nobody's doing it. But artists are getting on the Cash Cobain beat. Even Cardi B, she had a Cash Cobain beat on her recent album. Like Cash Cobain made that beat and that sound. It was fire. So, but yeah, I think they're getting a lot more recognition that they deserve.
I would agree because I feel like producers are like the engine of a car. The song can't go without them. Because it don't matter how much an artist they can flow on it. No matter how much they can talk their shit on it. If the beat ain't there, because for example, like with Back That Ass Up, if you play the first 3 to 4 seconds of it, you gonna know that's that song. So it's a classic just based off the dun dun dun. Like, producers, like you said, don't get enough credit like they should. I feel like now they're getting credit in this era more than ever. Especially like with more producers adding their tag to songs nowadays, from the Metro to the South Sides. Who else? Well, when I was in high school, you had like 808 Mafia, people like that. Zaytoven. That's a class right there. Yeah. That's a class right there. But yeah, I feel like you need great producers in order to push the best out of an artist. Because, a great producer can like listen to like, okay, it sounds good, but maybe if I tweak this, change this drum, change this melody, change this and that, I could take a basic song and turn it into a legendary song. So I feel like, yeah, producers are very important, very pivotal in how, artists can go forward in their career. So, yeah.
It's my turn?
It's on you.
Okay. I think I got 12. I'm looking at it. 12.
Is the R&B genre fading away?
No. It's not fading away. I think the sound is changing, of course. Just how, the sound of rap is changing. And I don't know. I just think, it's so much new evolution of stuff. Like, I'm just going to relate it to hip hop because I feel like hip hop has evolved so much. Like when I think about like the beginning stages of hip hop and like the boom bap beats, and that hardcore rap, and then it kind of became like more melodic and like softer. like Biggie rapping on, more slow, cooler tone beats, and then you got like the little Uzis, Playboy Cardis, just change the sound. I think R&B is still alive. Kalani, she doing her thing right now. Brent Fayez, always Summer Walker. I just think it's just adapting to the sound. I do miss the boy bands crying my heart out, Boys the Men, Jagged Edge. I do miss that sound, that OG Usher sound. But I mean, I just think, we just evolving, and as time's going, it's just forming into something different. But I do very much so think that R&B is alive, and I've also noticed that it's a lot of just indie artists that's keeping R&B alive. It's not really as super mainstream as it used to be.
And I'm glad you said that last part about missing like the boy bands and like girl bands. I feel like that's a main thing we're missing nowadays. Cause like when the last time we had like a Jodeci? When the last time we had a Silk or 112? I feel like we're missing that nowadays as far as not just boy bands or girl bands in general, but I feel like the main thing that's missing from R&B's nowadays, like soul. I think that's missing because a lot of the R&B music, I like it nowadays, but for me, when I'm listening to R&B, whether that's in my car or it's in the crib, it's mainly like 90s, 2000s R&B because I feel like it just had more soul to it, in my personal opinion. It's not like, I'm not saying like the artists nowadays don't have soul, but it's just, I don't know if it's something missing, but I don't really know how to describe it, but it's just like a feeling, like for example, like if I turn on Lifetime by Erykah Badu, I'm sorry, next Lifetime by Erykah Badu, it just it gives you a certain feeling. If I turn on like a Mary J song, if I turn on, like I said, a Jodeci song, it gives you a feeling of like love, and I feel like that's what missing R&B, like a feeling of love nowadays. So yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I could agree with that with music as a whole too. I feel like it's lacking a lot of passion nowadays. A lot of it just seems so manufactured just to get the next dollar out and stuff like that. There's no like soul into it no more completely. Like even some of the beats I'm hearing just sound so like I'm not hearing the effort or the layers. I need to hear the depth into it. Like you said, some classic music they haven't even said a word, but you felt everything they about to say. You hear like a Anthony Hamilton's old song, and like that boy he was pain. That boy was in pain. Yeah. That boy's heart was broken. You felt that every time.
That's true.
I think people, we got some artists now that's tiptoeing it, but it's definitely not the same. I definitely agree. It's definitely not the same. That's just my 2 cents. Go ahead, slide to this question.
All right. Well, we got number 8.
Ooh, I like this question. Has hip hop's global expansion strengthened the culture or harmed it? Hip hop's become a major sound all over the planet. Some people have adopted it and tried to make it their own quote unquote sound. Some people took it or ran off with it and not gave the credit where credit is due, things like that. Do you feel like, the world being put onto our sound is a good thing or a bad thing that's come out of it?
Now the UK is running with the sound now.
They asked them, they didn't create the sound.
Yeah. That's a tough question.
It is.
I think it's great that, other people are getting inspired. That kind of shows just how influential hip hop is as a whole. But I do think that maybe it's getting just, I don't want to say watered down. I think that's cruel. I don't know. Yeah, I would say that. Yeah, it's kind of hard to find good hip hop nowadays. You don't really know it's everywhere. And I just know growing up, like New York was heavy, Atlanta heavy. Like you knew the places to go to find it. You know where the artist is. I think its identity is kind of getting stretched. And literally hip hop is everywhere now. So that's do with that answer. I don't know.
That's it. Like you said, that's a tough question. I think it has expanded for the positive. And I think that was the ultimate intention of it, to expand it worldwide, to get more people in tune with hip hop. But I feel like nowadays, sometimes people take it and run with it. And, well, I won't say take it and run, but I sometimes feel like some people try to exploit it, try to get as much money as they can because they know I mean, to be honest, I think hip hop is probably like the number one genre in the world because you hear it in damn near every country you go to. You go to the clubs outside the country, you're gonna hear hip hop, and I feel like that was the intentions of it to expand it and let everybody hear it. But I just like wish more people would just do their history and due diligence about the origins of hip hop. Like I said, you ain't got to go back as far and listen to like Grandmaster Flash. I ain't saying all that, but like just know like some recent history, like know like where certain things come from, like just know like the background of certain things, like. And I feel like a lot of artists who get into hip hop now don't necessarily know where certain things come from. Like you may hear a song and it has a sample in it, and you ask that artist where the sample come from, they don't even know where the sample come from. And I feel like you should know where you getting your music from. You should know at least know who the artist is or where that music is coming from to just pay respects to it. Yeah.
For sure.
I believe I'm a mixture. I believe it's definitely it's a beautiful thing watching our culture develop, spread across the globe and seeing stuff that we grew up with on TV and things like that. I think that's a beautiful thing. Seeing other people exposed to it and the people that are genuinely interested and want to learn about it, I think it's dope. It's really, really dope. But it's a lot of like a lot of people exploiting our culture, and I think that does more damage than the good it's done. You see a lot of people profiting off of our things we've created. A lot of people taking credit for things we've been created and started. It's almost like we're losing the real culture behind it. It's like I look at it almost the same with sports. Hip hop does go hand in hand with sports. I feel like to a degree. Like sports betting, like sports is a beautiful thing. People learning about different sports. But now it's like the wrong hands to learn about sports. Now sports betting is like a big thing, and now it's ruining the integrity of the game. And you can kind of translate that to like hip hop and our culture. Like things that are supposed to be positive and bringing light. It's been brought a lot of downsides and a lot of bad things that's questioning the integrity of our culture. And I think that's dangerous. It's a dangerous thing. It's something that's beautiful and turned negative and things like that.
17.
Should artists be allowed to use AI generated vocals or beats?
No. I don't think so. I think maybe in aiding and like maybe helping with a loop or helping with background vocals, but I do not think that it should be the main thing. I just think that AI is just really screen printing. Like I relate everything back to art, like physical art. I keep looking at this cool picture, but if I was to paint a picture, I got the original piece right here. Somebody can screen print it and sell it, but it's not the original. It's not going to go for the original price. It doesn't have the original soul and the uniqueness of music. That's what makes music different. Like, it's not tangible. It has to be created. It's something that is created by a human or, physical, like the only thing that we can really make. So I'm not really for the AI thing. I haven't used it. I don't think I would be interested in using it either. I think it's just kind of taken away from the originality. And obviously, the AI has to be based off something, which is the original piece of art, which is what we created, So I don't think so.
I'm agree with that. I'm not a fan of AI at all. But in reality of it, that's the way music going right now. I wouldn't be surprised if in the next 15, 20 years, it's an AI artist that's the number one on the charts. And it wouldn't shock me at all because I feel like that's the way music's going nowadays because it's so easy just to go to, a generator saying, hey, sound like this artist, talk about this in the song and have the song at this like BPM or tempo, have it generated and have people love it. I feel like that's where we're going music nowadays, but I feel like you said, like that takes away the originality of it, that takes away the soul of it, that takes away the passion of it. But I feel like that's something that we can't stop. I feel like we're just in the infant stages of AI and music, and I feel like it's only gonna keep growing and growing and growing again. And unfortunately, it's gonna get worse. And then, like I said, I feel like it's gonna eventually just take over music, unless we got artists that keep on coming out and letting people know that this original sound is still here. Like this original sound still ain't going nowhere. Like you can like AI, but just know that originality is still here. Yeah.
That's true. Kind of like get with it or get left.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's how it is at work, though. I don't know if y'all started using AI at work.
Oh, yeah,
at
yeah,
your workplace.
I work in IT.
Yeah, but they basically told us like, you know, you get with it. We got to do the training. It's mandatory now because if you're like, you're really gonna get left behind if you're not. So
You know, it sucks right now, but I feel like people stay down. It's gonna be a beauty in the end. Like it's gonna be so much AI. The real is gonna be worth that much more. Like real artists is gonna be worth that much more. People that could really sing, not just Billy Manilli their way to success, is really gonna stand out that much more. But that's when the real talents, you're gonna have to, you know, work harder. So it's gonna be interesting to see what happens in the next few years. But that's my 2 cents.
Let's see what we got. All right, we got number 5.
Has the obsession with first week numbers damaged long-term artistry and career development?
I would say no because first week numbers that kind of that's more for like to me the record label than anything because they want to know exactly how you're doing with the album we invested money into, time into, studio sessions, music videos, interviews, and I feel like it's more for the record label to say, okay, how are they going to recoup that money as far as getting it, as far as getting sales with the albums. But I feel like first week sales don't mean I won't say they don't mean anything anymore, but they don't. To me, they have less value because going back to the first question, like I said, when you had to go back to the store and buy the album, you knew exactly how much units you sold in the first week. And nowadays with streaming, yeah, you could be like, oh, I stream 500,000 streams or I streamed 1 million streams in the first week, but I mean, how many people are actually keep streaming your album instead of listening for the first time just to get the first hear of it? So I feel like first week numbers, they matter, but to the artist, not necessarily so much.
I kind of agree with you. I think they do matter, and I think that's kind of, I mean, sadly, that's just what makes the business go around. You know, you got to see how you did, and the whole thing is based on that first week and getting your name out there, getting the noise and the buzz out there. But I wish that artists would still like promote as if it was first week and show that they care because it do seem like it's more of a push. Like the campaign be so hard in the beginning and it just kind of like falls and slacks off. So yeah, I think it should be consistent year round, not just first week. Oh, I'm sorry, Marco. You can go ahead. So your
I think first week numbers matter too much in today at least, because social media will have you thinking if you ain't sell 300K in the first week, then you ain't it. You fell off. But I think that's tough because the only people selling them type of numbers are Beyonce's, Katy Perry's, or whoever with them huge fan bases. Nobody's doing them numbers unless you out of there like Kanye. Like, so I think especially comparing numbers of the past when like you were talking about going in and getting the physical stuff, things like that. Like streaming definitely took numbers away from that. But like people so focused on that first week, like you were saying, campaign. I really see people campaigning for albums now, like a week or a couple of days before the album come out. And I'm like, I didn't know I forgot you dropped on the album. Why would you do that? Why wouldn't you be talking about it for 8 months? Like, so everybody can't forget it. It'd be so crazy seeing on every single talk show ever, on every single stream ever now in the last couple of days. It'd be interesting. That's why the numbers be so ass. But like, it'd be interesting. Yeah, I think people focus too hard on the first week and not just the overall promotion of the body of work you just spent the past year working on. Like, should be promoting that to everywhere so people can listen to it, not just for the first week, for the next month, the next 6 months, things like that.
All right, we got 14.
Has TikTok changed how songs are written more than any producer ever has? I've seen several interviews where artists are like they make songs specifically just to cater to TikTok. And some songs you can tell.
And I get that because TikTok is like, honestly, TikTok is the way like you blow up now as an artist because if you can have like a 30-second video playing your song and people keep reposting, people liking it, people sharing it, overnight you could become a big artist just simply posting a 30-second video of your song. And I feel like if that's the route to get you to your ultimate goal of becoming an artist, then yeah, you're gonna have to kind of cater your music to TikTok at first. But I feel like once you become an established artist, then you need to go and actually go in depth as an artist and not necessarily cater to TikTok, because if you're an established artist, people going to take 30 seconds of your song, no matter if it's the beginning, the middle, or the end, use it as sounds for they whatever they videos they create, going on trips, going on vacation. So I feel like yeah, to get started as an artist, you should definitely cater to TikTok to get people engaged with your music. But as you get more established as an artist, you need to think more in depth. That's what I would say about it.
I agree. I think it's funny because I'm currently promoting my music on TikTok. Find me on TikTok, y'all. I love that high C. My music is doing good on TikTok. I think, am I making it for TikTok? No. I make my music for the people who I feel like are going to relate to it. I think that bigger artists are more catering their sound more to that trendy top pop song. So yes, I do think TikTok is definitely affecting the way that music is made, the way it's put out and produced. But then, then you also may have like a song. I keep going back to Kaylani, but Folded did crazy on TikTok. Yeah. But that wasn't even meant for TikTok. So I just think it's just what picks up and what really, just attracts the people. And yeah. 20.
Are hip hop fans more loyal to the personalities than to the music itself?
Are hip hop fans more loyal to the personality of the
like some
artists?
Like some artists don't make good music, but people love the person itself so much they're gonna support whatever trash they put out.
I don't know.
They out there. There's some people out there. A big one right now.
A big one? Who?
I can't say it like.
Yeah. I don't know, y'all. I really think that that's what makes an artist is the people who relate to them, and if they grasp to the individual, that's still artistry. They're attracted to their personality. Artists and music is still an art. I don't think the music has to be hand in hand with the artist. I don't know, but I think to grow, obviously they need more music, fire music to relate to people. So I just think it's all about if you got some ride or die fans and they want to stick with you, that really says a lot about your character. Clearly, you reaching out and speaking to people in ways that some people may not understand. And that's why they're your fans.
I agree with that, but I do feel like personality nowadays is becoming more important than the music to fans. And that's why I feel like a lot of artists, you see a lot of artists are now starting to get into streaming. They're starting to go more live on TikTok and Instagram because, yeah, you make great music. Because there's a lot of artists out here who make phenomenal music. But I feel like if fans can't relate to you in some type of way, they're like, they make good music, but, And that's why I feel like a lot of these artists are going on people like all these different streamers to get people, related to them, like, get them to see another side of their personality, so they can be like, okay, yeah, I seen that artist on this person stream. They were having fun. They were doing this. You know what? Maybe let me go check out their music. So I feel like, yeah, you gotta have a personality nowadays for people to actually gravitate to you, but you still gotta put work in with the music. But I do feel like personality is starting to get more important than the music nowadays. We got number 3.
Is street authenticity gatekeeping creativity?
You said street authenticity?
Gatekeeping creativity. Like, is...
You talking like being from the streets or like
Yeah, like, for instance, not being able to make this genre of music because you never lived that lifestyle.
Oh, so you can't talk about it.
Yeah. Is it limiting people?
it can limit
Boy.
you if you let it limit you, because you don't necessarily have to be from the streets to make incredible music. Like for example, I look at an artist like Kanye. Like Kanye is not a street artist, but when he came out doing like a street era type of music. But he found a way to make his own lane, his own path that was so different than everybody else's, that he got eyeballs and attention put on him because of what he was doing so different. You got artists like people like J. Cole. You got artists like trying to think, Chance the rapper. Who else? What's his name? Toby. You know the artist Toby, like an African artist.
I don't.
He a rapper. Yeah. So like he's doing his own thing, so that I don't think being from the street necessarily gatekeep people from being successful. If you don't allow it to be, like, I feel like if you're not from the streets, then you have to be more creative in your music.
I think Drake showed us that you can be very creative and play around. You know what you see, what you like. He literally has made it his own. Like, so no, I agree with you. I just think it's really what you make it in your perspective, how you put your spin on it, and how people relate to you. Street dudes love Drake.
Yeah.
Okay, I have number 1.
Cool, we talked about this too. Has the shift from physical albums to playlists changed how we remember music, not just how we consume it?
Yes, for sure. I still remember my mama's CDs in her car. Monica, Mary J. Blige. I remember those. The Dream. Like, the Dream is one of my favorite artists, which you really don't hear people say that at all. I mean, y'all know any, like, do y'all listen to The Dream?
Oh yeah, man.
But I know him because all of his tapes, my mom had it, and like I literally know it front to back, like top to bottom. Just solely off of that, I think that the streaming, even my favorite albums, I kind of forget a little bit. But when you have that physical album, that's all you have to listen to. You can't go search up another song. You're going to have to take it out, put it back in.
Yeah.
You know, you even may have to listen to some songs to get to your favorite song. So, for sure, it has.
Hold on, what's the question one more time?
Has a shift from physical albums to playlists changed how we remember music, not just consume it?
Oh yeah, for sure. 'Cause like you mentioned, like actually going and putting a CD in, and sometimes the CD may be scratched up. Got to clean it up, make sure it don't keep skipping. But yeah, like that's core memories that you gonna have forever. Like, you just certain albums that I remember. Like I remember like when I think it was like '06. I was riding with my brother to go get T.I. versus T.I.P. that just came out, and this was back when albums used to come out on Tuesdays. I rode with him to Best Buy to go get it, and we listened to it on the way back. And I remember a lot of them songs from that album because we were just in the car vibing with my brother, and we just listened to an actual album. And I feel like nowadays you can turn on the album, listen to it, and like I said, you might forget about it in like 3 or 4 weeks or maybe a month or so from now. But back then, it's all you had. You only had the CD that you had in that CD compact, and that's all you could listen to. There was no playlist. I mean, you could go to like the gas station, the barbershop, get mixtapes, but other than that, you only could listen to the albums you had in the radio. So.
And it took physical work to play it. Like, you had to be on the way in the car. Or if you was lucky to have it in the house, and like just being able to get up and actually put it in there, and take it out the bit, like just the whole experience for sure. I miss that.
And the cool, unique like designs and stuff people have for their CDs. I remember Ludacris had a bucket of fried chicken on one of his album covers, and on the CD it was actually like a thumbprint of like greasy fingers of the fried chicken. That's just like a super cool thing. It's like some creative stuff you won't see artists do no more. But I definitely agree with both of y'all.
Feel me? All right, we got number 19.
Does commercial success still validate greatness in hip hop, or have streams, sales, and how we measure culture? Is streams and sales how we measure culture impact?
I mean, commercial success, I think that still factors into it because if you're getting pushed to like different markets outside of your current local market, if you're getting pushed to like other states or other countries, of course that's gonna make your numbers bigger, which ultimately help your your streaming numbers. So I still think you have to have some type of commercial success, whether that's music placement in a commercial, music placement in a video game, music placement in an ad, something along those lines. I feel like that's gonna take you to a whole nother level. The streams are cool. But there are a lot of artists nowadays with like millions of streams, 100,000 of streams, but that commercial success is going to bring you more deals, more sponsorships, more opportunities to make more money and expand on your own brand. So, yeah.
Can you read the question again, please?
Does commercial success still validate greatness in hip hop, or have streams and sales is how we measure culture impact now? So are we only like comparing what you did, sales numbers and ticket sales? Is that the only way to?
Yeah, versus the commercial. I think kind of piggybacking off what you said. I think like the same thing, but I also think and this is like a different twist. 'Cause it's just how my brain kind of took it, but just as an artist, how you're recognized by like the people around you too. Like you could be very successful like in your hood, like and that doesn't make you any like less than a more charting artist that's reaching a larger group of people. So I just think it's just all about perspective and how you play on it. Somebody big who I think about a lot of times, Speaker Knockers, like. He, and my boyfriend is from Philly, and I asked him, I said, do you know who Speaker Knockers is? Because being from South Carolina, we don't have many artists that's known. It's versus like somebody like Philly, it's so many artists there. They got their own sound, everything. But he knew who Speaker Knockers was, So just that, you just like, oh, like you kind of feel like a part of like you made it too with that person, especially coming from smaller cities. And I feel like smaller cities don't get the credit, So that's just somebody who I thought about like, dang, like he's really like legendary to us, especially as people from South Carolina and people outside South Carolina know him. So, yeah, I got number 6.
Is modern R&B becoming more like rap or vice versa? Sometimes a lot of sounds are blended.
I would.
Like Young Boy or Raw Wave. A lot of it is be blended between like your rapper, your R&B artist, a particular sound.
I don't think I have a yes or no answer to that question because I think I'm a blended artist. People ask me what I do. Darius, I don't know if you heard any of my music, but I rap and sing. Like, and some of them is kind of mixed in between the two. Even my friends are like confused when they're explaining to me to people. They're like, oh, like she just makes music, So I don't know. I don't really have like, is it becoming more one or the other?
I think it is a mix nowadays. 'Cause I feel like a lot of R&B artists mix a lot of hip hop in their sound, and I think a lot of hip hop artists definitely mix R&B in their sound because they kind of go hand in hand with each other. And honestly, I like the evolution of it because it's not putting like somebody in a particular box. Like she or he is a hip hop artist or she or he is an R&B artist. They could be a little bit of both, like you said, Rod Wave, Mo3, even YoungBoy. They can express they can express how their lyrics in different ways. They don't necessarily have to just come on there and rap the hardest thing. They can just go on there and sing it if they want to. Because I feel like that opens your avenue to your fan base and your audience. Okay, they're not just like a one-trick pony. They can do a little bit of everything. And I feel like that versatility makes you unique as an artist where you can just do a little bit of everything and you're not just put in one box.
That's true. And something I want to add too, I feel like we've been blending it, but it just wasn't, like how rap artists will have a R&B singer on the hook. What would you identify that as? Like, is it a rap song? Is it an R&B song? I think we've been blending it before it actually like recognizing like, oh, like what are they doing?
And to your point, like back then, like you get an R&B artist to sing the hook, something like that. But now the artist that's a rapper is actually going in there doing the hook, singing it
true.
themselves. So
That's
I feel like
true.
that's the biggest evolution to me.
That's true. One or two.
Number 18.
Were past artists more innovative, or did they simply have more time to develop before being judged publicly? You know, with social media, you got leaks and stuff 24/7. You feel like you can never.
I think past artists had to. I would say past artists might have to necessarily put more work in because you didn't have a social media that you just upload your music to. You actually had to go out there. Hopefully somebody will take your mixtape. Hopefully somebody will listen to your demo and maybe you can get heard by a record label or somebody in the record industry and get picked up. Nowadays with TikTok and like Instagram, YouTube, you put your reel up, you put like a short TikTok video up. You don't know how far I can go. If it gets traction, it can get viral overnight. Certain record companies see it, certain artists see it. You start getting followed by them. Then now you got a connection in the industry, and now you potentially get signed or maybe get opportunities that you didn't have before. Versus to where you actually had to go out there. Sometimes you had to go to an open mic night. Sometimes you had to go to a talent show and actually showcase your talent. Versus nowadays, you can be in the comfort of your home, showcase your talent, and somebody from California, Montana, they can see you and like, I like her, I like him. I'm gonna go follow them. I'm gonna go listen to their music. I'm gonna become a fan of them. So I feel like back then you just had to put a little bit more work in. I ain't saying it's not hard nowadays, cause it's still hard, but I feel like it just took more effort back then.
More physical root work.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can kind of see that point because now you can make music in your home too.
Which is great.
Yeah, like versus back in the day, you had to have a studio session, and like I just listened to the Jill Scott podcast, and she was saying how like she would just be hanging around the studio, just waiting on somebody to throw her like a beat, like just hanging around, But now you can hop on YouTube, get that beat, have that song done, boom, you putting it out. So I don't know. I think it's just a beauty in the journey and just however the artists make it. I don't think it's any easier now. I think it's a little different now because now you have so much more people doing what you're trying to do too. So you gotta go that extra mile to make you look different. And then you just have to show up and just show that you physically ready to be there in that position. But now you have to kind of do everything yourself. So. Oh, last question of me.
That's the last one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
15.
Is hip hop culture? Oh, this is a great question to end up on. Is hip hop culture the most influential culture in music?
Yes, for sure. Why do you say that? I mean, look at us. We look good. We make it look good. We make it sound good. I really do feel like we are the foundation, and I mean, it's just really not much to say. Like you said, D WILK, like even when you go out of town, when you go out the country, they're playing Apple Bottom Jeans. They playing Little John.
Yeah, exactly.
It may not be what we currently listening to, but we definitely set the tone, and we are known for having a good time, and that's because we had to find that space and create that space for ourselves with the history, like a long, long, long time ago with our ancestors. So just being the base of just feeling good and being able to create that sound for ourselves and for other people to do that too, because you're not going to no party, no wedding, nothing out the country, no event, nothing to where they're not playing hip hop. But you may go somewhere and they're not, playing. I'm not gonna say no other genre, but y'all get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So of course it's definitely in there always.
I was like, you said the exact question one more time.
Yeah, I got you. Oh, is hip hop the most influential genre of music right now?
I would say no doubt, because if you look at pretty much the culture in general, it's pretty much hip hop influence, especially like again, this is not me making a race thing. I'm just saying what I see.
Yes.
But like when you see like these white kids, they're dressing like hip hop artists. They dress like their favorite hip hop artists, whether that's somebody like a Gunna, whether it's something like a Future, whether that's somebody like a Drake or whoever they listen to. They want to emulate that. They want to be that. They want to walk like that, talk like that. And I feel like that's something that we always fought for, not just at the beginning of hip hop. I feel like we're still fighting for that, just to be like influential. And I feel like it's effortless for us. And I feel like that's why other cultures, see it and they try to imitate it. But you can't imitate something that's original. And I feel like that's the thing that makes us different. It's like we can do this effortlessly. We can do this just waking up out of our bed, and it just comes natural to us. That's just something that's been passed down, like you said, from our ancestors. That thing, music, that just, I don't know, it just,
We got that swag.
it's just that swag that it's natural to us.
And even if it's not the actual sound, it's even the lyrics that's touching people too. Like I turned on the radio one day, y'all. Like they have people doing covers of hip hop songs. I didn't know like you could do a cover. You could post it and you won't have no copywriting issues if you sing in the cover or whatever. But even cruise ships, they're singing hip hop songs. They got the music and making it sound more softer and nicer. But like they singing CeeLo Green on the ships.
I just got back from a cruise and they had a whole hip hop night. They were dressed in like 90s, 80s hip hop and they had chains on. And I said, "Oh, this is crazy."
Yeah, the influence for sure.
Yeah, cause like if you go to a karaoke bar and you hear somebody do hip hop, just I mean, it's us, but sometimes it's not us, But that's why I feel like, cause if you go out like to like a karaoke, go to a club, sometimes it be people not from our culture singing the song harder than we're singing the song. I'm like, okay, yeah. So yeah, for sure, I think we're the most influential.
I think that's all the questions right there, guys.
So you want to say anything for it?
I want to thank y'all for inviting me on y'all's platform. This is beautiful. I love what you're doing. And yeah, y'all follow and subscribe. This is on YouTube and everything else. So y'all can find me on my social medias. Love, LOVE, _HICI on Instagram and YouTube and also my TikTok. And thank y'all. I really appreciate, the opportunity y'all sharing my space. This is great. I love this. And yeah, that's all I got to say.
Now, can we get exclusive? Are we getting any new music coming up very soon? So.
Yes, 2026 is this, like, so much stuff planned and in the works. I'm working on. Let me just say this though. I'm a new artist. It's probably been like a year with me doing this seriously. And I just want to give motivation to anybody out there who's doing it. D WILK, I know you've been doing it for a while. Let me tell you, I respect you on a whole nother level because it's not easy. Especially like, starting out is fun, it's cool. But then like you reach a point to where you're doing it, you're still doing it, you're still doing it. And then like, I don't really even have no words for real. I don't know, I would love to come back and maybe we could do like a session on just actually being an artist, starting out, and how it is, and seeing the people who support you. It's just a beautiful thing, and just even like just raw. I was just random strangers, showing their support. It's like the best feeling too. I really appreciate it. But new stuff coming soon. Video is out. Have my first video out. Watch Me. That's my latest single. It's out. Check it out. And yeah. More High C on your TV screen. All 2026. Yes. Popping it. I got a song called Popping It. Coming. 2026.
Yeah. I love that, but it's been two sides of the South, you did?
Yes, sir. That's a wrap.
It's Miss Smooth Talker, Jimmy Summer Walker, and 3-6 Mafia, so please don't cross her. Who is she? Well, that she be me. Pretty brown thing from the 803. Hoes trying to figure out how to get like me. Holding shit down since I came from my dream. I keep it flowing, and when it come to poppin' shit, I'ma keep it going. Baby, fix your face, smell the hate and shit showing. While I'm living gracefully, you can see me glowing. Blessings overflowing. What can